So here's a topic of interest for anyone receiving qualified assets as a result of their divorce, especially if you think you might want to access those dollars prior to age 59 and a half, which is to say, possibly right away for expenses you have right now. Normally that would result in you having to pay a 10% penalty on that money, and this penalty is on top of any other taxes that you might owe. However, it might be possible to avoid that penalty, albeit with a few caveats and several opportunities for things to go wrong. Stay tuned. Finances and Divorce, Withdrawing Qualified Assets and Avoiding the 10% Penalty, coming up. Drayton, Certified Financial Planner Professional, Certified Divorce Financial Analyst, and founder of Jeffrey A. Drayton Financial Planning and Wealth Management, LLC. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are viewing this from the blog page of my website, fill out the contact form at the top of that page so you can begin receiving notifications when new content becomes available. When couples divorce and begin dividing assets, a significant portion of those assets will commonly be in tax-deferred, pre-tax retirement accounts, things like IRAs and 401ks. These accounts generally impose a 10% penalty for early withdrawal, and early withdrawal in the eyes of the Internal Revenue Code is any distribution that takes place before the age of 59 and a half. This penalty is the government's way of discouraging people from spending their retirement assets for current living expenses. However, when couples divorce, those current living expenses can often go way up. Now, instead of one household to maintain, there will be two. And establishing that second household, say purchasing a home, getting additional new home furnishings, and maybe paying for things like new health insurance expenses, as well as others, can really drive up a large current expense need. So there might be good reason to want to access some of those retirement assets now, despite what the intent was for those dollars when they were originally saved. And the last thing that you are going to want to do is watch 10% of the value of those accounts go up in smoke in the form of a withdrawal penalty paid to Uncle Sam. So how to avoid the penalty? Well, good news. Internal Revenue Code Section 401 T2C allows the alternate payee to receive money from a qualified plan pursuant to a qualified domestic relations order, commonly referred to as a quadro, without having to pay the 10% penalty. In other words, if under the terms of your divorce you are to receive some portion of your spouse's, say, 401k, you can receive those assets and spend them on current expenses without incurring the penalty. Those assets likely haven't been taxed, and you will still owe those taxes in the year of distribution, but again, without the additional 10% charge for early withdrawal. However, this is also where things can go wrong fast. The exemption from the penalty is not available to those taking assets from a retirement account that is in their own name, and it doesn't make any difference how the assets got there. Therefore, this is the first place where things can go wrong. If you are receiving some portion of your spouse's 401k, and instead of taking those dollars directly as the alternate payee, you first have the money transferred into a 401k account that is in your name, you're done. Those dollars are no longer available to you penalty-free. This can easily happen. Let me give you an example. Let's say Susan is going to receive half of John's 401k under the terms of the quadro in her and John's divorce. She intends to use some of that money to make a down payment on a new condo for her and John's daughter, Mary. If she receives that money directly from John's 401k plan as the alternate payee, she can avoid the 10% early withdrawal penalty under IRC 401 T2C. However, if at the end of her and John's divorce, she contacts the custodian of John's employer-sponsored 401k plan, and they offer to segregate the assets coming to Susan into a 401k in her name, well, guess what? She's now lost the ability to take that money prior to age 59 and a half, penalty-free. So it might seem to some now that one piece of good advice would be to take as much as you can of the qualified money that you are receiving from your ex-spouse's retirement plans right away. Take this now as an immediate distribution and therefore avoid that 10% penalty. There are a number of reasons why that is likely a very bad idea. How so? Well, first, when you take a distribution from a pre-tax retirement account, that money becomes taxable as ordinary income in the year of that distribution. It's taxed as if you made all of that money in that 1 year. Remember, IRC 401 T2C allows you to avoid the penalty, but you still have to pay the taxes. Those don't go away. You would likely be creating a significant tax bill and possibly at unfavorable rates. Furthermore, realize this. you're still going to have a retirement need someday. You're going to want to have retirement assets. And accounts like 401ks and IRAs are tax-preferred accounts. Because of this preferential tax treatment, the government actually limits how much taxpayers can put into these accounts each year. In 2019, the year I'm making this video, the most an individual can put into their 401k is $19,000, and the most you can put into an IRA is $6,000. In other words, once that money has been taken out, it's not easy to get it back in. So what should you do? Unfortunately, this is a question that doesn't have an easy answer. And it's also one that your family law attorney is likely ill-suited to provide. This is a financial planning question. Divorce wreaks havoc with a person's personal financial situation. Most every financial decision that was made prior to a divorce is now going to need to be reevaluated post-divorce. For this reason, I highly recommend that you involve a financial professional, preferably one that is both a certified divorce financial analyst and a certified financial planner. And I would do so early in the divorce process. You are going to need to make decisions that affect both your financial situation in the here and now, as well as your financial life going forward, which is to say years, even decades down the road. I'm Jeff Drayton. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, as always, nothing in this video is meant to be specific advice for you. Advice like that can only be had by working with a financial planner, someone who knows you and your situation. I would encourage you to seek out someone who is a certified financial planner. This is signified by the letters CFP with the registered trademark sign following his or her name. I would also encourage you to work with a fee-only financial planner. Now that's two words, fee-only. Not fee-based, not fee plus commission. Both of those terms mean that the planner or advisor can receive commissions and is therefore not free of the conflict of interest inherent to commission sales. Again, I'm Jeff Drayton. Thanks for watching.